Welcome, one and all, to Last Stop Penn Station podcast featuring Cary, Silkin, and Ian Riccaboni. They dive deep into Cary's wealth of stories, and no subject is off limits. From the world of wrestling to his ticket agency, growing up in New Jersey, drug-fueled underground days, hustling in the French Quarter of New Orleans, and endless days and nights in New York City, every story is worth telling.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is another edition of Last Stop Penn Station. Cary, we're back from Baltimore, and what a trip it was.
A great trip, and this is our. To me, it's a funny night. The sun is you pointed it out,
yeah,
and I couldn't find it at first.
It's hiding.
It was hiding behind a tree, but we found it, and it's our special sunny summer edition of Last Stop Penn Station. I really like this time towards the end of July because it's not August yet, where we know things are going to slowly, you're still going to get hot weather, but this late July patch is really good. So it's our special summer's edition.
The summer sizzler.
The hotbed.
Yeah. The sun was blood red orange. It was like a blood orange today.
And you're telling me it's from the terrible wildfires.
I read in the morning call, and they know.
One of the only people who reads them.
Right. Well, ever since they did that,
delivered.
I used to, and then I realized I wasn't reading the physical copy, so it comes into my email every morning. It's there about 6 o'clock, and go to the gym, walk on the treadmill. I read the top stories, and just kind of close it up and call it a day. But
what are you looking at? An iPad?
No, just on my phone. I have the big Samsung Note, so it's big. You can read it real easy. And they even noted that, hey, this is going to be beautiful, but please remember that this is because these unfortunate wildfires out in Oregon. So.
Well, for the last forevers, there's always these wildfires, it seems, in California.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Some of them practically near like the beaches of Malibu. There's that Route 1 with the beach on the, if you were going north, the beach on the left, and these small mountains, I forget the name of them, but right there. And anyway,
Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, as you're riding up Pacific Coast Highway, but there's been these fires in California forever.
Right.
And as much as, and now there's supposed to be like 50 of these things, especially like in Idaho and Oregon.
They're moving north,
and Washington State. And one of them was as big as the city of Portland.
That's pretty crazy.
But anyway, where I was trying to get to was that since we've been hearing about this for so long, and I'm not saying they're making it up, you'd think the whole damn West would be burned down.
Yeah. I don't understand how there's these massive fires. Credit to the firefighters who are maintaining them or concealing, keeping them in one spot, because it boggles my mind too. I've been to Oregon. I think you have also. It is a wooded area through and through, including the city of Portland. I mean, there's, besides the rivers and things, like there's trees everywhere. It's beautiful. It's surrounded by those hills, and you can take the bridge into Portland. I see the big neon sign, the big Portland sign, and so I don't know how the whole city's. Thankfully it's not. Thankfully they're.
Well, I know it was like 120 degrees in Seattle or crazy thing like that.
Yeah, it's record heat. I mean, and everybody, a couple of people on Twitter were saying, this isn't. We can all do our best and try and recycle our plastics and our cans, but we need to do more than that as people. And reduce pollution, reduce all that fun stuff to get these temperatures back at a normal level.
Well, if this is visually a pretty sun is being caused by this.
Yeah.
And it's 3,000 miles away. That's pretty scary.
It is. It is. And we have a warning about being outside for prolonged periods also right now because
Really?
of this. Yeah. I think it's don't be outside longer than 30 minutes at a clip because of the dirt in the air. Essentially, it's from the it's from the wildfires all the way across the country.
Oh, what if you live right there?
Yeah, I know. That's even scarier because you're staying inside, right? But on some happier news,
Yes.
we didn't have to stay inside in Baltimore. I got to do whatever I wanted this time around. No bubble.
Yeah, it was, and we even talked about it, I believe, over the last episode or two when we had Mike G. And I wasn't sure if I thought I was going to go, but I wasn't sure about going. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. But man, for a young man like you, it's like playing guitar, like ringing a bell, going down there.
Yeah.
But that was a rough trip. Leaving Saturday, I left Saturday at noon.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think it would be that bad.
You took the blue route, right? 495.
I took the 495.
Yeah.
It was fine up until
476, rather, yeah.
Up until that split.
Oh, into 95.
Now, why did they slow down?
I don't know. Cary, I went to the Monster Factory this weekend to do a camp.
I have that on my list here.
Oh, yeah. But I'll say the GPS for the first time in my life took me around that. Because to get there, 476 to 95 south to exit 4, which is the Commodore Barry. So you're only on 95 for a
Yeah, I know
half
exactly
second.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's down by the casino, down by where the Union play. But you're only on it for a mile. But it took me physically off of. It took me to exit 3, and I just snaked through neighborhoods I've never seen before, and went that way. So that is
still had to take a while.
It did. It saved me 6 minutes. It said.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah. So a week ago Saturday. Felt good. I told Gary Juster, I'm on my way. I told him Friday night, get me the room, but if I'm not going to come Saturday, I'll let you know, which was fine. And I felt okay Saturday, and I knew I was going to be in trouble, possibly with my back and other ailments. But what should have been a 3-hour trip, and then you figure you stop. I got to stop once at least.
Yeah.
More came in closer to 4:45.
Yeah.
It was a grind. But I'm glad I went down. I had a good night Saturday night.
Saw you on the way in.
Well, we'll get to that. I got together with Lethal, and he was there. We went out to the fabulous Maryland Live Casino.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a good meal and played some games of chance to it was no luck. And then when I went back to the hotel, Jay doesn't, he's not a partier. And the guys, there was like 5 or 6 guys in the lobby. I guess because it was the first time of a non-bubble.
Yeah. Yeah, we were clear, especially if you had your vaccine. It was clear to us that the federal guidelines applied. If you have your vaccine, you're free to do what you please.
So I wound up hanging out in the lobby with Malonis and Beer City and Dalton, and there were a lot of the students.
Shane Taylor
the whole time.
Yeah.
He was great.
Primal Fear was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And somehow they wangled the UFC. I don't know how it was done.
And we won't say who did it.
I don't know how it was done.
I know who and I know how, but I don't want to get anybody thrown in jail.
It's no big deal.
So
yeah, we're not encouraging
piracy.
Right.
Yeah.
But they had we said they had the UFC
and they got it on the bar.
Yeah, the bar paid for it.
Yeah.
And So yeah, and then you came moseying in
Yeah.
around what 11:30?
11:30. Yeah, drove straight down from the Iron Pigs.
You probably had no traffic.
None. It was beautiful. It took me a way that I'm used to going. It took me out 222 and then down 83, 81, 80, I think it's 83 to 295. And then you take 295, you're right there. And yeah, it was beautiful. No traffic. I had the wrestling podcasts on. It was just beautiful night. It was 75, 80 degrees. It was perfect. I had the windows down for a little bit.
Well, before we move on, we'll try to keep this in chronological order. You have to tell us about your experience. Ian did not only go to the Iron Pigs game.
Right.
He threw out the first ball.
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was neat. And, normally the Iron Pigs, they'll bring in Boy Scouts or they'll bring in Girl Scouts or someone that, did something, a kid that has done something real neat. And they'll usually have 15 or 20 of these folks. So it's a cool experience that a lot of people get to do. But what was neat about this, they saved me for the end. And I got the royal treatment.
What do you mean the end?
Yeah.
So you throw out a ball at the end.
Well, no, they saved me of the group.
Okay.
Among the children and among
They waited at the end of the game. All right, let's bring out Ring of Honor announcer, Dean Riccaboni. James over there.
No, but it was very nice because they had, the Rothrock Car Salesman of the Month or whoever, and the Boy Scouts, and which is very nice for those folks. But they even announced me as, Ring of Honor, as seen by a million people every week on syndicated television, Allentown's own from Ring of Honor, Ian Riccaboni. And they gave me this nice kind of hometown thing. And I think one person got excited. I heard one person one person knew who I was in the crowd. And I threw a ball. It was low and in. And then LSG was there. LSG fired it in. LSG threw a rocket.
How did wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I saw something about LSG and cheeseburger.
And cheeseburger. So the Iron Pig said, "Hey, you're welcome to come. If any of your wrestling friends want to come too, great. We can make a big deal of it." So sure enough, I called up those two gentlemen because I knew they were local and didn't have to be in Baltimore until the next day. And they were there, and got them to drive in from Trenton and from Edison, respectively, and we had a good time. The Pigs treated us very well. They gave us great seats. They put us up in one of the boxes, and then after we did the first pitch, we had fun with the mascots. We took pictures with Diggity Dog and Crispy Bacon and Fifi.
I just know Fifi.
Yeah, Fifi's.
I don't know Crispy Bacon.
Well, he's the giant bacon. Diggity Dog's the giant hot dog. But
did they feed you any hot dogs?
they did. Yeah, we got some food. Yeah, we got some food. So it was a good experience. And then as we were eating, I had thrown it out there to the Iron Pigs. I said, "Hey, this is wonderful. I don't want to overstep my bounds, but I'd always like to have called an inning. I've never called baseball, and maybe if I'm in the booth, I can talk about the pay-per-view." And thank goodness their announcer is a wrestling fan. Their announcer knows Ring of Honor and knew that we did the Garden. He had been to the Rexplex.
Okay.
And he's 33. His name's Mike. He's a really nice dude. And so, yeah, he was like, great, like bring him in. And so in the fifth inning, we all went in the booth, and I called a full inning. And I did play
full inning.
I did play-by-play for a half an inning, which
really,
yeah, they let me indulge. They let me enjoy myself. So
okay, what inning was this?
The bottom of the fifth.
What was the score?
It ended up being 9
at that point, was it a close game?
No, 6-1. It ended up being 9-1 at the end of the inning.
So were the Pigs winning?
They're running away with it. Yeah.
So when they let you announce, it was like no pressure in the game at that time.
No, it was a nice fun.
But it could have been.
Could have been. Yeah, it was a nice fun night for the Pigs.
Were the Pigs at bat?
They were.
All right. So
yeah.
They could have only added on to their lead.
Right. Yeah. I got to call a double play. Unfortunately, the Pigs were hitting, but that was cool. And it was a really fun experience. And I think we've talked about it in the past. I've complained to you that, ESPN will interview me and Sports Illustrated, but Allentown never gives me any publicity or press or anything. And that's changed, and it's nice because Morning Call's done a story. The Iron Pigs treated me like, I'm a returning hero.
No, you are.
No, and
did they honor Cheeseburger or LSG?
they did. Yeah, they threw out a first pitch also. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was.
So from what you're telling me, between the three of you all,
Yeah.
and the fire department and the Girl Scouts,
Right.
and such and such car lot,
Right.
there could have been about a couple dozen first pitches.
I think so. So. But it's nice because the kids especially, they get their name on the board and they announce them and they show the video. But it was neat. They gave my credentials. They made sure to let the people know I was from Allentown and let the people know I was with Ring of Honor. And that was pretty cool. It was really neat to be there with Cheeseburger and LSG. And we had a lot of fun. LSG's a huge baseball fan. He's a huge Mets fan. But he said that was the nicest minor league ballpark he's ever been to. So,
well, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I saw those guys the next day. So you drove down after the Pigs game.
Yeah.
I saw you at the hotel. It was nice to see you like everyone else.
Yeah.
And then Sunday morning, we had some breakfast.
I hit the gym. I said we meet for breakfast, and we met our executive producer, which was nice.
Yes.
And got some details on the show.
And it was cool because I was the first one at the building because it was around noon, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to just sit in the hotel and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Or stroll around the Inner Harbor.
Right.
Which is something someone might do.
Right.
It certainly wasn't going to go back to the casino. So I went to the building, and it was very, I don't know, cathartic. Is that the word?
Yeah.
It was just the production guys are there, and it was quiet, and it was just nice to be in the building and knowing that the show, it was all pretty much all set up.
Mm-hmm.
So, those guys get there at like
ungodly,
some ridiculous.
They're
time.
the MVPs of that whole thing.
They are, and just sitting around, and so as guys were coming in, the ones that I hadn't seen Saturday night, and some that I hadn't seen when I went down a month or so ago.
Right, for the anniversary,
It was nice. It was just really nice seeing everyone. And compared to you could speak on this a lot better than I can, but compared to my little experience at the last bubbleized one,
right,
this was just normal.
It was, yeah. The criteria was if you had your vaccine, you were still assigned a locker room, but it was CDC guidelines. It was if you could produce your vaccine and let the commission know you had your vaccine, you were allowed to move throughout the building as you please. If you did not, you were restricted to certain areas, and you still had to take a rapid test. You still had to take a test ahead of time. So just from a pain in the butt perspective, there's definitely incentive to get your vaccine because you don't have to spend, the amount of time waiting to get the test, waiting for the positive or the negative, waiting for this, waiting for that. If you have the vaccine, you don't have to do anything. If you haven't had the vaccine yet, you still got to wear a mask. There's that piece of it also where, and those are the commission's rules. Those are not Ring of Honor's rules. So, yeah, but if you had the vaccine, it was pretty much business as normal.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice when I was there when the doors opened.
And there was a line.
Yeah.
People were hungry.
Line.
Yeah, around the corner.
Got to see some old friends, Greg H.
I saw Greg H. I saw Courtney Jean.
Yeah,
I saw Mary Kate. Yeah. Ryan Sullivan was there.
Right, and Terry.
Oh, Terry the streamer guy, yeah.
As well as some other fans. I never expect anyone to come up and say, but a number of people, came that I don't, who I can't name, said, "Oh, can I get a picture with you, Mr. Silkin," or whatever they said. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It was nice, and it was nice to feel the place, alive again.
Yeah. And how about that attendance? Over 1,200.
Yes.
In bubble seating, where you couldn't just buy a 2-pack, you couldn't buy a 1-pack, which I think, again, that was Maryland Commission, Ring of Honor working together. I think the next time we go there, I think it's going to be even bigger because you'll probably be able to buy a 2Z or a 1Z or a.
You should be able to.
Yeah, at this point, it's that way in Philly. You can buy a 2 or a 1 or however many you want. Yeah.
And where else we got? We got Lakeland, Florida.
Lakeland, Florida. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Death Before Dishonor. And the main event is already announced as far as I know. The main event, we are going to see the women's championship be decided. At least that's the main event to me. Mm-hmm. Whether or not it goes last on the pay-per-view is sort of irrelevant to me. I think that's the big attraction at that one. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and wait a minute. Let me see if I can remember. Flip Gordon was announced for Philly.
Night 1.
For the belts against Bandito.
Against Bandito, our new champion.
And there's going to be a cage match.
Cage match on night 2, which is Taven versus Vinny. The final, the last stand, they're calling it.
The last stand.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good couple of announcements. But anyway, back to
Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah. Great night. I got to walk out in the beginning, and it was fun. The show was good. We could go through the matches. Ian stuck me on commentary during
you were great.
The Pure Rules match. Well, see, what was really going on was we had spoken earlier. There was a word going around that Jimmy's Famous Seafood, and the great John, who they are terrific.
Love John, yeah.
That guys were going to go over there for some of their great seafood and some refreshments, and so I had this decision to make if I was going to go home,
right? Yeah,
or if I was going to go out, I could crash in Baltimore. So I went over to Ian between matches trying to ask him, because it's hard to get to talk to him. He's got the headphones on, so you got to pick your spots. And I guess I picked the wrong spot because he sort of just waved me to come onto the platform.
And Caprice held up the headphones.
Right. And suddenly, and I was giving him the no. I get nervous. I just get nervous.
You were wonderful, though.
I don't know how wonderful I was.
Yeah.
He was throwing me softballs. I think the highlight of my commentary was when you were talking, or were talking about the geographical credentials of Jonathan Gresham.
Yes.
And I said... I remember hearing him on an interview about all that schlepping. Yeah. And Caprice Coleman cracked up.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And there were new tag team champions also.
Tag champs. And before we get to that, Mike Bennett thought that was planned. And Mike Bennett loved you being on commentary.
Well,
so
it's very kind of him.
Yeah. So just to show you what a great impartial judge Mike Bennett. New tag champs. Yeah. Homicide and Chris Dickinson. Force of Nature. And new TV champ, Dragon Lee. And I thought Kenny was going to get involved, but he just kind of came down, watched the match, and it was all Dragon Lee.
Yeah. And so last but not least.
The big one.
Yeah, Bandito getting the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Right. And if you haven't seen the footage of Cary presenting the belt that's on this week's Week by Week, you must have been scared out of your mind.
Well, you could see the footage if you get the regular pay-per-view.
Right.
Of me getting the shit scared out of me by Roosh and being sort of stuck in the corner and not knowing where to go.
And Todd covering you up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
it was nice to, when everything settled down after that attack by Roosh and his buddies, it was nice to be able to give Bandito the belt and see the emotion from him.
Yeah.
Legitimate.
It meant something. I mean, it means a lot, I think, to anybody, but you could tell.
He was crying.
He was.
Happily.
And it's funny because Roosh attacked him, and so did Bestia and Kenny King, but I don't know if you noticed, Dragon Lee didn't touch him. And Dragon Lee made sure he was all right. So I wonder if there's anything going on there. But Dragon Lee got emotional, too, when Bandito had the belt with him. So, yeah, Bandito, I mean, here's a guy, not that we're not proud of all our champs, but getting the word out about vaccines, taking to the streets in Mexico City, getting grandmas vaccinated, took the belt to his own grandma today. There's a great picture on Instagram. You can go through his feed. He's a guy who's doing the right thing and time again. And it's always good to have someone like that to root for. You know, he's a real baby face, a real life hero, you know, you can look up to.
Yeah, and I don't even think he's been discovered yet.
Right.
He hasn't blossomed completely.
Right.
How can you say that? Cary, he's a champ. But, you know, I think we've seen, you know, it's like he's like one of the best kept secrets.
Absolutely.
As far as, you know, really good ass-kicking wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know.
She's strong for his size, too.
Madison Square Garden, when he stacked up Ishimori and Dragon Lee and did a backflip off the top rope. I mean, that's over 300 pounds that he did a backflip with, did a moonsault with. Probably the strongest guy pound for pound in Ring of Honor. And I think you're right. I think the pandemic, you know, he was gaining a lot of steam as we came back in 2020, but pandemic stopped everything. And I'd love to see him versus Mark Haskins. I'd love to see him versus...
Yeah, there's so many.
There's so many. Him versus Flip Gordon's going to be awesome. You know, if he can hang on to the title, he's got a whole bunch of dream matches, and I don't think he's going to be a secret for much longer.
Well, I decided to get out of there and drive home, knowing the coast would be, knowing that most likely the roads would be clear.
Right.
And I was right. So it was a very fast 36 hours, but
yeah,
it was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then you were there.
Yeah.
For an additional couple of days.
2 more days. And
is that a secret?
No. We taped a lot of the women's tournament, and that went even better than I think anybody's most optimistic projections could have went. These women brought it, and it's something that I'm really proud to be a part of. I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit. I was a helping hand in some of the women's division things that happened prior to this. And it was it was something where it felt like sometimes it started, sometimes it stopped. And, you know, to have somebody like Maria, who has more experience than I do, and to have somebody like Bobby Cruz, again, who has more experience than I do, to be able to get the buy-in of everybody that's involved is really exciting about the women's division, because Maria said in interviews, you know, we're not doing this unless we do it right, unless we get the talent in, and unless we get the veterans, the blue chippers, and everything in between. And we're jumping on a really good foot with this tournament, and I'm excited to see what happens. I hope Quinn gets in. Quinn is out because she lost to Mandy this week on the watch along.
I saw that.
But I'm hoping Maria makes things right. We'll see.
We'll see.
And we all hope Maria makes things right.
You could tell the people we had a clicking emergency.
Yeah. The paranoia of the wildfires led to some conspiracy theories about Cary's heating HVAC unit here.
There was infernal clicking going on.
There was.
Click, 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 click. And I know that sound.
Yeah.
But then I thought, oh, the heat's not on. Maybe it's my chair.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, we found out the heat was on. Probably cost me $600 in the last 3 months.
Because you're fighting with the air conditioning in the other room.
Right.
Oh, God.
And I don't like it real cool anyway. You know, real cold anyway. Yeah. But, yeah. never know what's going to make him laugh. That's why I wanted us to get with the clicking. Well, we left off with with the women's division.
Yeah, the women's division. Quinn, we love Quinn.
Yes, we do love Quinn.
Hope she finds a way to get in the tournament because she's been robbed. You know, that's what we saw this week on television.
Why is Mandy so mean?
Yeah, we used to hang out. I don't know what's her deal. I don't know.
So
being mean to Quinn like that, but
while you and I were in Baltimore,
yeah,
our producer AJ went down to the Myrtle Beach area.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you ever been there?
Not to Myrtle. I've been everywhere in South Carolina but Myrtle Beach.
I've never been to either Carolinas.
Really?
So what I'm curious about is the but I have a lifetime, especially from childhood on, with the Jersey Shore.
Oh, yeah.
As we've spoken about previously, my shore spot as a child, my parents would go down to, and we talked about this on an episode of Last Stop Penn Station, but that's okay. They would go down to Bradley Beach for some reason. Now we're talking the early 60s and prior to that. For some reason, Bradley Beach, so you got Asbury, excuse me, Ocean Grove,
Okay.
Bradley Beach, Belmar.
Yeah.
And then you go down from there with
Atlantic
Point
City.
Pleasant, the Point Pleasant to
that's
Manasquan Seaside, but right within close proximity. So for some reason, Bradley Beach, from my parents' generation, attracted Jewish families. And my parents, anyone who listens to this podcast, they were just, I don't know, they were not religious Jews, and they weren't looking to only hang out with Jewish families.
Sure.
But it was in the blood to go to Bradley Beach, which wasn't a bad thing, because then I would get to go to, as my father and mom would take me to Asbury Park at night. Now we're talking late 60s.
Yeah.
Asbury. And there were some music and some bars, but nothing like the 70s.
Yeah.
That really wasn't spoken about. But the amusements were fabulous. And they had the casino pier and the other side.
Was pinball big yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And, Madame Marie's was there.
Bruce's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was just that half-mile strip of Asbury Park that had all the crappy. Oh, and then there was a casino pier, and there was this other building, and you know the building I'm talking about because you've gone to the Stone Pony.
Oh, hundreds.
It's a square. They may have ripped it down, but it had the carnival funny face.
Oh, the Funhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was a huge pinball, skee ball, fun house. Same with the casino pier. They had a merry-go-round. But then on the boardwalk in Asbury, as well as most of the Jersey Shore points, and you could tell me about your experience, they had the games, just like in at the Allentown Fair coming up. They had the games of no chance.
Right.
Actually, there were some that you had to have a winner.
Right. Yeah, like the races with the water guns. Somebody's got to win.
Right. Or they would, and before we went on these, so AJ, did you see anything like that?
Yeah, they had some games, but it wasn't a lot like Jersey.
They didn't have the wheels and stuff?
Oh, the wheels.
Right. Now, what shore did you go to, Ian?
We were dyed-in-the-wool Wildwood, New Jersey family.
Okay.
And we'd go to Cape May, but we'd always go to the Wildwood Boardwalk.
So back in the day on the Wildwood Boardwalk, correct me if I'm wrong, they would have these wheels.
Still do,
for not only with candy.
Yeah, right now it's only candy, but it didn't used to be just candy.
Well, it used to have anything from cigarettes.
Right.
Cigarettes was super popular.
Yeah, tons of cigarettes, yeah.
And
up through the late 90s. This isn't something that
Right.
went away in the 70s. This is through I was alive and cognizant of this.
Well, yeah. So I don't think they would have that in.
And they used to, and they would entice you too. They'd have like PlayStation 5, but it'd be one spot on the board. So then they would say guaranteed winner, but it'd be like a $5 buy-in, and you'd win like a Snicker bar. And they would, there'd be spots for the whole case or the whole box, but you'd pay $5 to get like a 50-cent Snickers or something.
What was the game?
It was the spinner wheel.
Okay.
Yeah, so they would have the different spots marked by colors and things.
And they also didn't they have the the gun where you try to shoot the star out?
Oh yeah.
Or the of course the darts.
The darts and the balloons, right. And
the milk. Well,
the milk bottles, but also the crates, the basket woven.
Oh,
crates
those things
with the softballs. Now that one looks like it's the easiest one of all time, but
don't forget the thing with the fishing.
To get the
ring
and the ring
to lift up the bottle.
Right, or the ring toss where you try and hook the bottle top.
What about the money toss?
The money? I don't know that one.
Yes, you do.
Do I? Okay.
It's for dishes.
Oh,
they still even have it.
They have it at the fairgrounds.
They even have it in Allentown.
Yeah.
Where you literally throw your money away. And it's genius because anything, it used to be that you were throwing dimes.
Yeah, they've upgraded to quarters, I think.
Is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
If it, number one, it makes it harder.
They're fleecing.
No, it makes it less possible.
The fleecing scale. These were games of no chance. They still have that, the coin toss, and they still have that. Here's a good one they have. You ever see this thing where it's like literally plastic ducks going around?
Oh, yeah.
Pick one.
You pick one and you see what your prize is. Yeah. It's the least chance. Yeah.
They'll have a beautiful
bevy.
A beautiful 27-inch television.
Right. A PlayStation 5, Xbox.
Right.
But you get candy, or you get a fun size bar, or
yeah. So
how about the ones? Remember and this was up until a couple of years ago. You get fish. You get live fish.
Oh, don't they still have those?
They might. That always made me sad getting the live fish.
I've gotten the live fish.
Yeah.
And
you bring it home, yeah.
Right. Sometimes they lived.
Yeah.
A few days.
Yeah. We had a couple that lived a while, but. It feels like they shouldn't be able to do that.
Well, it's within all that tawdriness, there's still some kind of charm to it.
Yeah.
I will, especially after last year, after not being able to attend the Allentown Fair because they didn't have it.
Right.
This year's I always go to make sure that they're that in case they have any oddities.
Right.
And last time they did, the last live one, they had an actual freak show on a performance stage.
Oh, wow.
And I had my godkids with me.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to see them and take some pictures with the stars.
Yeah.
So maybe this year Allentown will have. They used to have the 27-inch, the world's smallest woman.
Yeah, we talked about her before. Yeah.
And they would have other stuff, but over the years it's diminished. Last year they didn't even have the bozo bounce.
Oh no!
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Is that the dunk tank?
Correct.
Yeah. Right. Wow. That one seems like the least mean. If we're talking about. because you're just getting somebody wet. It's not like
Yeah, but the guy's insulting.
Well, yeah. It'd be good to put it there. Brian Johnson. You put
He'd
Brian
be good. Or Bobby Cruz. Brian Johnson would say, and AJ, Brian Johnson was the wrestler that referred to me as an old relic during the card. Very nice of him. So Brian Johnson would at least have witty things,
right.
or snappy insults. If Bobby was our beloved friend Bobby Cruz, our ring announcer, he might listen to this, he might not. If he's listening, he'll laugh. Bobby would be up there. Particularly, can you imagine?
Oh, with that Rhode Island accent
he
too?
Had just been dunked.
Oh,
and now
yeah.
he's got to get back
Oh, God, yeah.
And he's like, fuck you.
They would not be creative. They would be anger-driven. Come on, you asshole.
Right. You're only supposed to say, you throw like a girl.
Right.
Or
I'm mad at him. He told me to bring my glove. I thought I was going to have a catch with him. I brought my glove. I came right from the game. I brought my glove. He didn't have a pitch with me. I feel like my dad has let me down. My wrestling dad has let me down.
What was the thing about the catch?
He wanted to have a catch, and then he didn't bring his glove.
When was there time for a catch?
Yeah, we could have went in the parking lot at the maybe during our lunch break or after the event. But he got me all excited. Thought I was going to throw with him. Nope. Anyway, let me down. But we're going to dunk him in the dunk tank.
You'll dunk him in the dunk tank. I'm just trying to think. With all that Jersey Shore stuff, and maybe you could tell me about your Wildwood experience.
Yeah.
Except for Atlantic City, when the first casino opened,
77-ish. Yeah.
Except for Atlantic City, they wouldn't have any oddities or freaks on the Jersey Shore. Did you see any in Wildwood?
No. Well, no. But they'd have the fun house with the mirrors that would distort you, and they'd have like the weird zoo that would kind of make you sad. It would have like snakes and stuff, and it was like you're kind of like, I guess a snake is fine in here, but anything bigger. No, there was never any. Like I saw Siamese twins. I met Siamese twins for the first time in
Where?
In Allentown.
In Allentown.
Yeah.
Wow, how did I miss that?
That was like early 90s. I remember.
All right.
That's a lasting memory because you meet somebody with two heads and you don't
That'd
forget.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was neat. But you don't forget that, especially when you're 6 or 7. But they never saw any oddities on the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
Yeah, never.
Well, Atlantic City. I think I went down there with my grandmother one time. I did. Because I saw the diving horse.
Oh.
You know about the diving?
I do. Yeah.
And AJ and I are currently watching Boardwalk Empire.
Okay. Yeah.
With Steve Buscemi.
I've dabbled.
It's a really good show.
Yeah.
Now that's the 20s.
Right.
But when my grandmother took me, God, it had to be. Well, geez, she passed away. I mean, it had to be like I was little. Anyway, it was in the 60s some point. The Steel Pier in Atlantic City, they would have like almost a vaudeville type.
Oh, wow.
They would have some kind of music.
Yeah.
Maybe a grade B or a grade D Monkeys or Drifters or whomever.
The association.
Some
maybe.
band that might have had a single at some point or two. And no matter what, and maybe they'd have some kind of juggler, some kind of circus kind of thing. But they always had the diving horse.
Wow.
And I remember seeing it, and I knew it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I think my mother wouldn't like it.
Right.
She didn't like it. We talked about when I went to that Ringling Brothers and they at the old garden, and I got to go to my mother didn't want my dad to let me go to the freak show.
Yeah.
I was maybe about it wasn't. It wasn't like I was 6 or 7 with my parents shoving me in to see Siamese twins. Just kidding.
That was my older brother, by the way.
Right.
Yeah,
I was
that was
say, there's no way your mom would have allowed
no,
that.
that was my older brother. Yeah.
Right. So, but anyway, my mom didn't want me to go see any freaks. Be that as it may, there we were. The diving horse went beyond a freak. It was like a time-honored tradition. It was there forever
and ever. It only went away in the 90 or late 80s, I think.
I'm not even sure, but it went for a long time.
Yeah.
But anyway, they lifted the horse up, and there was like on an elevator, and there was a lady on its back, and it got to the top. Now, my 7 or 8 year old head was saying, "Ooh, the horse is gonna like dive," as if his beautiful long front legs are gonna go out. Well, no, they just slipped the damn
out from underneath.
Well, he doesn't fall straight down. It's just on an angle.
Oh, okay.
And he slides. I guess they get used to it. You know, they get used to it. But yeah, and the girl's on his back, and everyone claps, and she takes a bow, and the horse gets out of the tank. And
how high do you think it was?
Really?
Was it 20 feet, 30 feet?
It couldn't have been more than 20 feet.
Okay. I mean, that's still...
I mean, it's a big animal. You don't want him breaking his legs.
Right. How high do you think the pool was?
I don't know. I mean...
Got to be at least 10, right?
Yeah. You know, there was a horse race recently.
Yeah.
With an accident. It was in Monmouth, the Haskell.
Yeah.
Everyone was okay, but we know how... You know, they certainly don't want to hurt the animals. Anyway, they pulled it off. But it was a classic. There were other things on the Atlantic City Boardwalk. And this wasn't so cool. They had this in an in-glass thing, an in-glass apparatus, and you would put a quarter in. It was a duck, and he had a name. And he had a piano.
Good piano. Oh, wow.
You want to know what his name was?
Sure.
Duck Ellington.
That's good.
And if you put the quarter in, some nice food that he liked came out, and to eat it, it would sort of fall on top of the piano key, miniature piano keys.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So I got to see Duck Ellington.
Wow, what a celebrity.
Right. And there was another odd thing, and this has been done in other fairs.
Yeah.
It probably still goes on. The one I saw in Atlantic City. Now this is another one of these things that you would say, there's no way I would run away. But no matter who you are, you run away. What is it? You pay your $1 to see Zamburu.
Oh.
You never heard about Zamburu?
No.
Zamburu is I think they had it as a wild man.
Oh, wow.
Who was going to in your eyes, found in the jungles of Africa, in front of your eyes, is going to change from man to beast, right in front of your eyes. And
this already sounds like meth.
We will give you your money back.
Oh.
If you're not, if this is bogus. Anyway, so we go in there. We're probably stoned, and this is not when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And they did a gimmick with the lighting, and suddenly there's I didn't tell you that the crazy man is like within like a bars within like a jail.
Oh, geez.
And yes, and when the strobe lights go on and the recorded voice starts yelling, Zamburu! Zamburu! Calm down! And the guy is like banging on the so-called jail cell.
Right.
And when the strobe light hits and the voice gets louder and you really can't see what's going on, all of a sudden you hear a break. and the bars break.
Oh, wow.
And the beast comes running at you.
Oh, geez.
And everyone runs. Nobody stands there.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you hung around, you'd find someone who stood there.
Right.
Or someone who knew the trick.
Right.
But just to the, it's probably playing around at some of these carnivals.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Jeez, yeah.
You have my like 18 or 19-year-old ass knowing that it's what it is.
Right.
To be scared.
Huh.
The second oddest thing, speaking of the boardwalks of Atlantic City, there was a scalper, a ticket hustler. And you know who, this is one of the few you've met.
Oh, wow.
Not met, know about though.
Yeah.
The kid from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Mountain.
Mike Mountain, yeah.
Yeah, and he was around for years. He preceded Freddie the Weeper, and but I'm just trying. And there's more stories about Mountain, like when he arranged a burglary at his own ticket agency.
Oh, jeez. And this is a YouTube celebrity.
And a YouTube celebrity.
Yeah.
His weight, he was another one of these very tall, big guys. And during one of his heavier periods, he was one of these guys that had either a ton of money, like Frank Sinatra's song, That's Life. Mm-hmm. You're riding high in April, shot down in May.
Right.
He would be like loaded with money, or then balls on the street. And he would work in offices and things would happen, and then he'd be hustling, on the street. Anyway, speaking of boardwalks, you ever go to the U.S. Open?
Yeah. Well, I've been to the ground, Arthur Ashe. Yeah.
All right. Well, there's that boardwalk from the 7 train.
Yeah.
Leading out towards to get to the stadium.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, when Mountain was hustling, and he was like huge, 400 pounds, he would take one of those miniature fold-out seats, and he would just sit on it in the middle of the boardwalk. Meanwhile, Freddie was like hiding 1.5 miles away. Oh, the heat's gonna get me. And Mountain would just be all for his
big as you please.
400-pound splendor. Who needs tickets? Who's selling tickets? You rat bastards. So you got Mountain on that boardwalk, but I discovered Mountain on the boardwalks of Atlantic City.
Really?
This is like 20 years ago, maybe a little less. But he was back in he was in the business. He had an office, and I'd known him through Freddie and just through doing some business with him. And anyway, I was down with a bunch of my friends. We used to go to the Tropicana a lot.
Sure. Back
in our heyday of going to Atlantic City. So
that was the nicest one for a while.
it was a good one. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Caesars was nice, but we just got familiar there, and we made some good friends with some of the people that worked there. But anyway, down the boardwalk a bit as you went towards Convention Hall, they had these legitimate reflexology back rub places.
Oh, okay.
Not a wacky shack.
Yeah.
There was no.
I don't know what you mean by wacky shack, Cary.
Well, that's the hand. Like one time, the girl said, "Would you like the hand release?" Right. And our producer's laughing. The popular. That's over there. Yeah, she could have said, "You want me to jerk you off?" But no, instead of that, the polite word, the hand, pardon me, sir. Would you like that? So, but this wasn't one of those places. So they had a line of they had massage tables. They had the chair massage gimmicks,
Yeah.
And then they had the Lazy Boys. If you just wanted the foot, the very popular foot rub,
Right.
right? So I was getting a chair massage deal, and it was during the day, and maybe we had been to the beach, and I just didn't want to gamble. Better to spend $30 for 30 minutes, and then just $30 in 1 second in the
Right.
casino. So I wasn't really aware, but I'm sitting in the chair. So your face is in the hole, right?
Right.
And your knees are on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And unbeknownst to me, I was right next to where the Lazy Boys were. So what, right? Well, you can't really see what's going on in the room. So as I'm sitting there during my nice 30-minute rub, about 10 minutes into it, I hear someone go, 1 hour. And I hear the chair being, you could hear someone getting in the chair. A lot of noise and movement. And so I'm just enjoying my chair massage. So this person who's next to me, but I can't look at them, besides their entrance, I'm hearing this slurping. Like, and simultaneously between slurping, that tremendous, you ever get a good foot rub?
Yeah.
Yeah, that great orgasmic joy of the foot rub. So it's like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So my 30 minutes had elapsed, and as I get up, I'm like, mountain. And what was making the noise, you might wonder?
Yeah, what?
Well, here's an item from the Jersey Shore that I know you saw in Wildwood, because I'm sure it's always been a staple. That Coors, K-O-H-R, the orange,
the swirl. Yeah,
right?
delicious.
The creamsicle style.
So good.
Well, Mountain
purchased.
It was like a.
Don't tell me he bought the gallon.
It had to be a half.
Yeah, half gallon. Oh my god.
So he was just.
I mean, who's gonna stop him? Right?
He was just enjoying that. And so then he's like, well, where's the first thing he would ever say, or say like Mama Pretzel, no matter where we are and what we're doing, he would say, where's the weeper? Like as if Freddie was attached to me, and Natasha, Mama Pretzel, where's Freddie? I was thinking about her, and we did a whole episode on, but I left off a really funny story about her.
Yeah.
We were talking about her Atlantic City thing with the Stones, and how she lost, how she went crazy.
Yeah.
And how she made $40,000 one time at a Grateful Dead show or
holy crap.
Whatever it was some kind of stadium sellout.
Yeah.
Might have been the Stones again.
Selling the burners.
Yeah. But the one time, this is how crazy and sick this woman was. She's still around. It was in the 90s. And I remember there was this strike. Well, you were a little boy, but there was the strike season in 93
94.
4.
Yeah.
And after the strike came back, the fans were a little sour.
Yeah, 95 was rough.
And the Yankees weren't good in 94. They were in the middle of the pack team.
They were good in 94. 93, they weren't great. 94, they started.
But they didn't make the playoffs.
No, because it wiped out.
Where I'm going with this is they had a Phil Rizzuto to attract.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they needed
had
people
Phil
back
Rizzuto night suddenly.
Yeah.
Fine. So we go there to honor the scooter. So at the old. Were you ever at the old stadium?
Oh, plenty of times, yeah.
Remember the circular staircases?
Oh, yep.
And you could smoke.
Yeah.
And so we're inside, whoever I was with, and we go up by home plate, and there was a lot of people looking for tickets. It was an evening game, and there were a lot of buyers, and the game was a legit sellout, and there was like hundreds of people looking for tickets. Anyway, we go in behind home plate, and we go up to first level, and probably I was smoking cigarettes back then, so we're smoking by the. You could smoke right in the stadium.
Yeah, you could smoke in the concourses until.
But you could smoke in your seats up until.
Probably 2000.
Anyway, we're by that. So we're looking off at where where the big bat is.
Yeah.
There's a I'm not describing this very well for our fine listeners. There's a promenade of the old stadium. It was like a long,
like right center-ish
concourse.
Yeah.
That led from right center to home plate. This is outside the stadium.
Right.
And it was like a famous thing to say would be, "I'll meet you by the baseball bat."
Gotcha.
There was hundreds of people waiting to meet their friends by the baseball bat. But anyway, so I'm on this first level up, which is about maybe, 16 feet above. Really good. Maybe really, you asked me about the horse before.
Right.
It was a very good vantage point to watch all the activity.
One horse length.
So I'm looking at this scalper and that scalper, and I'm just watching the action. And here's like I go, Natasha. And this is the one time she relinquished from saying, "Where's Freddie?" She said the second thing she would always say.
Oh.
You know what that is. Now I'm in the stadium. And she looks up at me and goes, "What you got?" As if. As if I would have went into the game with extra tickets. Right?
Huge market inside the game.
Right. And she was it's just classic. But yeah, those are some good boardwalk stories for this summer. Somehow we covered some shore and carnival-esque summertime boardwalk stuff.
Well, I had an idea.
Happened by magic.
I have an idea. I think we should do a live video. Maybe not live, but we should do a video tour of the Allentown Fair this year.
We should
to show the fans what they may be missing if they're not going to the Great Allentown Fair, which I love. I love going there.
Do you?
It's fun. As a kid, I got that feeling your mom talked about, where it was kind of like, it's that feeling in your stomach where they're mistreating the animals. Maybe you think, even if they're not.
You didn't see those freaks last time?
No,
the actual show.
I haven't been since maybe 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go every year. I just go there to scout it.
I take back. I took Sarah there in 2011.
They had some good shows over the years.
Well, I've seen Def Leppard there a couple times. Right. I saw Jimmy Eat World when they were big.
And Alice Cooper a few years ago. They had
saw the WWF there.
Right.
A couple times.
Top a while back.
Yeah.
Rush.
Yeah.
Right, we went to that. Rush.
They had Kid Rock the one year. He was a big hit there. So
this year, not so. It's.
Last year they're going to have the Impractical Jokers, which they've gotten popular, but
there's no good rock.
Yeah.
Same with our beloved Music Fest.
Yeah, it's kind
Did you see that lineup?
Yeah, not as great this year.
Unless there's a name there that you know that.
I didn't see one that popped off the page. That's the thing though. Music Fest, though, they bring enough people that there's always somebody that plays there 1 year and then 2 years later they're a megastar. So that's what's kind of cool about Music Fest. You kind of don't know who the megastar is going to be, and it's usually not the headliner, right? It's usually somebody that comes in and plays one of the little cafes or little bars and then shoots off.
Well, you know what? There is one good one. The Preservation Hall Jazz Band.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, from New Orleans.
Oh.
It's like an all-star New Orleans jazz band. And it's like a big band. And I think they open up the fair. And it's only like $20. That'd be worth going to.
Yeah.
Like a classic legend. And I'm surprised. I'm shocked, actually.
That doesn't...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rotating cast of members.
Is it kind of like the Ringo band where they have like...
Sort of. And there's probably, if you knew the better than I did, like if Mike G would be able to say, oh, there are certain guys that have,
this guy's with this band, or he's played for him, or with him.
Or guys just within the framework of the Preservation Hall. This guy's been there for 30 years.
Ah, gotcha.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully there's got to be something, some good music.
Yeah. Well, here's a fun thing I'm going to drop. I was talking to Gary Juster, and right next to the Allentown Fair, there's Ag Hall. And I've talked to Gary. We're coming back to Philly, very excited, but Ring of Honor's never run Allentown. And wouldn't it be fun to have a throwback night in Allentown, Pennsylvania at Ag Hall?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
and it's the right size building.
It's the perfect size for the level of crowds that Ring of Honor has right now. So I gave the contact information that I have to Gary, and we'll see what happens. So, I mean, never say never. I am maybe 10% chance or 5% chance, but if it's cheap enough, I mean, they have.
Well, that would be on our side.
Yeah. I'm sure it's. I'm sure it's relatively low priced. And Allentown, when WWE was here, they practically filled the PPL Center.
Well, I went the last time before the shutdown.
Big attendance.
Yes.
Yeah, Allentown's ripe for wrestling.
I think you were out of town that night.
I was, yeah. Zach and I were somewhere. Or maybe Sarah was somewhere and I was home with the kids. But yeah, that's, let's bring Ring of Honor to Allentown. Fuck it. That's right. Hog's dick.
Oh, do we have time? Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
I asked you before, if you had to have a business.
Yeah. I've been stewing on this one.
With a disgusting name.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there used to be this, back in my old hometown, we used to go to the town tavern, and there was another, anyway, somehow through, this is, I might have came up with it, but somehow, instead of saying we're going to Town Tavern, or we would call it Corey's because it was the Corey family owned it, somehow it turned into the Ginder Pit.
Oh, jeez.
Shall I say that again? Yeah, Ginder Pit.
Oh, jeez.
It's pretty disgusting.
That is disgusting. Yeah. Oh, God. What did that even mean?
Like a hawker.
Right. Is that Yiddish? Is it? Oh, is that?
Like when you spit.
Oh, like a loogie.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right.
That's what it means.
Let's go, man.
So we turned it into somehow to add some class to it. We could call it. Ooh, where are you going? We're going to Corey's original Ginder Pit. What were you thinking of?
Oh, geez. I was thinking of the Rusty Muffler.
Okay.
Would be one that I came up with. Anything with the word gunt, G-U-N-T. I heard that said once. I don't know what it means. Could be foul, so I apologize. Maybe something with beaver involved. The unkempt beaver.
Beaver's gunt.
There you go, Beaver's gunt.
If you go to Beaver's Gunt, the next night we'll go to the original Ginder Pit.
The original, though, except no imitations. There's the one often duplicated, often imitated, never duplicated.
I mean, oh God.
Yeah.
Forget about lending me. AJ and I have been watching Boardwalk Empire, and I was also watching Deadwood. And speaking of Ginders, this is when the spittoon was still king.
Oh yeah, it was everywhere. How gross is that? That you
spittoon, chamber pot.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, it was just the way it was.
Remember the urinal trough? I mean, those were still around.
Those were gross.
Yeah, but the Allentown Fair had them as them last time I went.
Yeah, but they weren't in a square.
Oh no. Veterans Stadium used to have the square. You used to
I
walk
wouldn't go in that, even as a kid.
It would be like the rectangle.
Right, they have that at Wrigley.
Oh, I've never been.
Horrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out there.
It'd be a peeper's delight.
Our good friend Peter Gazer would like to go out there. Oh man, Fenway still has them in certain bathrooms.
I can't believe they still have
The Trough, yeah.
I can't believe it.
As of when was I last there? 2016?
I'll have to ask Brian Malonis
Okay.
for Double B.
Yeah. I was in a trough on the first baseline.
I won't go in a trough. I mean, a trough by yourself is one thing.
A trough by yourself is luxurious. That's you have all that. You could pick any space
Well,
to pee.
I mean, not when you're in the square style.
Get down on the square.
You never know what you're going to get on Last Stop Penn Station. That's why we like doing this.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. Who would have expected to talk about we had no plan to talk about the diving horse or the great Zambura, the wild man, or the Siamese twins.
Right. Yeah. And I apologize if I got the term wrong. It was one or two individuals that both of their heads. It was essentially a two-headed person, more or less. I think that's a Siamese twin.
Well, if they
twin.
had really had conjoined twins,
Maybe it was a conjoined twin.
it would still be super rare.
Right. Yeah. There's not too many.
Well, right. We'll have to do. I'll have to do
research.
my homework. Well, I have researched about Ang and Chang, the original Siamese twins. Who were, I mean, they shared the same. They both got married.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they had like tons of kids.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how this went on.
Yeah.
You know, and I complain that my back hurts.
Right. Yeah, and you don't have to share a body with anybody.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but they lived long lives.
Awesome.
So you'll have to ask your mom or something about.
Yeah, if they remember anything about it, or maybe
that sounds bizarre, even for the '90s.
Yeah, I'll check out the Morning Call archive too. Maybe there's something in there.
Or maybe they'll be back for this season.
Maybe, yeah, big comeback. Who knows? Well, I can't wait to find out.
We have to have Gary Juster on here, and if he comes on here, he dealt, and I know we've. Somewhere in the annals of Last Stop Penn Station, we've discussed these two gentlemen, and you've seen these two guys. Ooh. We just talked about it. At the Allentown Fair. They would run the freak.
Right, the Parkers.
The Ward Hall. Mm-hmm. You could YouTube Ward Hall.
Yeah.
And he had his drunken partner Christ, and they had the small man with the big. Gary Juster knew this guy too. He had the big goiter coming out the side of his neck, and he breathed fire.
Oh wow!
And he went under the name of Pooh-Bah.
Oh jeez.
You've seen him, I know.
Yeah, I would have had to.
AJ, you've seen him too.
I've gone to the fair for years.
Yeah. I'll show you a picture of the great Pooh-Bah. But Gary Juster had a deal with these guys.
Really?
Because they were somehow Chris had a. We should get Gary on.
He had a promoter's license, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a toehold on some buildings in Florida.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll have to find out more.
All right.
And see if Pooh-Bah came along.
Yeah, we'll ask Gary. Will tell us. Gary, yeah. And we can keep on about running Ag Hall, bringing wrestling back to Ag Hall. So,
well,
I look forward to that.
Well, please subscribe. Thank you. We missed you. We're back.
Yeah, hope you're having a great summer. We're in the swing of things. We're having fun too, and we're let's see if we can get Gary on next week. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had George Napolitano lined up, but he'll come. But I think Gary would be really good.
Yeah,
we could ask him. He gets real freaked out when I bring up. Like one time, I wanted to send him a pic. I had a nice picture of Pooh-Bah and the goiter.
Oh,
He's like, no, I'm sending.
Yeah. Oh, poor man.
He lived a good long life.
Yeah, I hope he got that settled before he passed. So. Oh, wow. You
And I
never.
hope he didn't wind up going into a Ginderfit.
The Ginder, the original. At least if he went, hopefully it was the original. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Eric, who prepares all the show notes and things like that, and the timestamps and all that fun stuff. I want to thank AJ, our producer, from Basan Creative Web Design. I want to thank you for listening to Last Stop Penn Station. We'll see you back here next week. Thanks, everybody.
I thank God it stole the handle and the train and won't stop going. No, it just slowed down.
We hail you for listening to Last Stop Penn Station podcast. Rate, review, like, subscribe, and share on your favorite platform. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or at laststoppennstation.com.